Hi, Bespoke Babes, it's Dr. Kim. I'm going to do a little bit of a different sort of video today. We're not going to talk about anything cosmetic. Obviously, with everything that's going on in the world, people are really nervous and probably have a lot of questions about the virus and some of the terms that you're hearing in the media. So we're going to go through some of the terms that you might have heard. I want to clear them up for you. And I'm going to do a series of videos on the virus just to help you be more clear, because there's a lot of information out there and it's hard to tell what is a reliable source and what is not a reliable source. So the first term I want to go through is zoonotic diseases. So you may have heard this one thrown around, zoonotic. So this simply means a disease that's transferred from an animal. And so we believe that the current virus was initially affecting animals, mutated, and started to infect humans. So other examples of diseases, zoonotic diseases, that you would be more familiar with would, for instance, be rabies, which is, of course, transmitted through animal bites, Lyme disease through ticks from deer, the Black Plague, which came from rats and mice. So all of these are zoonotic diseases, diseases that start in animals and are transmitted to humans. Okay, so what then is the difference between a bacteria and a virus, bacteria versus virus? So you may have forgotten your high school biology. So bacteria and viruses are both microscopic, essentially organisms that exist naturally in our environment. There are bacteria and viruses that infect and cause disease in humans, but they also exist out there and have no impact on humans at all, both of them. So a bacteria is a single-celled organism that is alive. A bacteria displays both cellular metabolism and cellular respiration. It is alive and it can reproduce on its own, and that's a bacteria. So bacteria exist in the environment and they are natural. Some of them infect us and cause diseases. For instance, strep. The streps are what cause strep throat, and they can cause skin infections. Whereas a virus is not alive. There's no cell. It's not alive. It does not display a metabolism or respiration. A virus is simply a piece of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protective coat, and that coat is both protein and fat, essentially. A virus isn't alive. It does nothing until it gets into its host cell. And that host cell can be a person, it can be a plant, it can be an animal, it can even be a bacteria. There are viruses that infect bacteria. So a virus is not alive and it needs to get into you or an animal or a host in order to replicate. And in a biological sense, the entire meaning of life, the entire point on this planet for every organism is reproduction and replication. From a biological standpoint, not from a philosophical or ethical or religious standpoint. Biological standpoint, the point of life is to replicate. So a virus needs to get into its host and replicate itself. That's the entire point of them. So there are many, many different types of viruses out there. And the one that we're hearing about in the news right now is coronavirus. So there are more than one type of coronavirus out there. Coronavirus is a family of viruses. There are 7 different viruses that fall under coronavirus. Corona is Latin for either crown or halo, So that's why on Corona beer you'll see a crown. We talk about a corona around the sun, which is a halo of light around the sun. So corona is simply Latin for crown or virus. So we have 7 coronaviruses. They are called coronavirus because, remember I told you the virus has a coat around it made out of fat and protein. So it is round, the coronavirus is round and has these little spikes of protein coming out of it like a crown. Okay, so it's crown virus based on its morphology, based on its appearance. So there are 7 coronaviruses out there. 4 of them cause the common cold, and they are in continuous and constant circulation amongst people all across the world. 4 different coronaviruses that cause the common cold. We've all had them. You can get them again, common cold. The other 3 are MERS, which is the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. That was a significant problem in the Middle East around 2009. It came, we think, from camels. SARS, so sudden acute respiratory syndrome. This one was 2003, a real problem here in Canada, and it is related to the new virus that we're dealing with, which is known as SARS-CoV, which is coronavirus 2, or sometimes known as novel coronavirus 2019, so nCoV 2019. And then the other term you may have heard is COVID-19. So COVID is coronavirus disease, coronavirus disease 19, because it was found in the year 2019. So COVID is the disease. SARS-CoV-2 is the virus. So these are different things. We're hearing in the media that they're being used interchangeably, but they're not. So coronavirus is a family of viruses. There are 7 of them. 4 are the common cold. 3 cause real problems for humans, including our new one, which is SARS-CoV-2, or the novel coronavirus 2019, causing the disease COVID-19. So I hope that clears up a little bit of the terminology, and I'm going to do another video talking a little bit more in detail about our specific virus that we are dealing with now. Message me, post your questions, send some emails. I want to make sure that everyone has all of the information that they need during this scary time to hopefully make it a little bit less scary. Okay, message me.